by music.
Four,
Stand by now.
3, 2, 1.
And fade up.
It's the Bellagio, the Mirage, and the MGM Grand.
You're a wizard, Harry.
Mike Wazowski.
Open your eyes.
Now tell me, where are the others?
Eat me!
King Kong ain't got on me!
What about second breakfast?
Why not? Why can't I? How can we be expected to teach children to learn how to read if they can't even fit inside the building?
Welcome to another episode of 20 Years, 4 Beers. A fully vaccinated episode
What?
at that for both of us.
Yep.
Get your shot. 20 Years, 4 Beers is a show dedicated to rewatching popular movies from 2 decades ago while enjoying 4 modern beers. My name is Steve, and this is my big brother,
Tim.
And we are coming to you live on tape just outside Minneapolis, Minnesota. On this episode, we once again find ourselves venturing into a family film after previously covering Shrek and Monsters, Inc., and another franchise starter as well. On this one, we are covering 2001's mega hit, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone.
You're a wizard, Harry.
I have joked recently with the family films that if you have been a child, had a child, or been in proximity of a child in the last 20 years, you've likely seen these films. And I feel like this is also no exception. In fact, I would say this is the granddaddy of them all in terms of social significance of the Shrek, Monsters, Inc., Harry Potter trilogy. And the next 20 years, it's been, or at least 10 years after, it was Harry Potter, Harry Potter, Harry Potter.
Yep.
So if it's possible that you don't know what this movie's about, I guess we will cover it real quick. Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone is the story of a young Harry Potter who, after being orphaned as a baby and surviving a deadly attack by he who must not be named, Lord Voldemort, is reluctantly raised by his aunt and uncle who care for him in the most basic of ways. When Harry turns 11, he discovers that his parents were wizards, and he is a wizard as well. He is invited to attend school at Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. I have a note here to say that slowly.
That's good.
It is at Hogwarts that he meets his 2 best friends, Ron Weasley and Hermione Granger. He quickly understands that not all wizards are good and learns the truth about his past and the terrible evil that haunts the magical world. The film is directed by Chris Columbus, written by Steve Kloves, and stars Daniel Radcliffe as Harry, Rupert Grint as Ron, Emma Watson as Hermione, Richard Harris as Albus Dumbledore, our second Richard Harris film of these podcasts, Maggie Smith as Professor McGonagall, and Robbie Coltrane as Hagrid. I guess I'll go. I mean, I remember seeing this in the theater.
You'll have more details than me, so you can go.
I remember I saw it only because I wanted to see what the hype was all about.
Sure. Yeah.
But it was making news and people were banning this for witchcraft and this kind of stuff. And I was like, I guess I'll go see this just because I like fantasy films or science fiction and stuff. And I was not impressed the first time around, really. It just wasn't my jam. So this is what all the fuss is about, I think is what it was. So that was my first impression.
That was my thought today as well, as thinking back to, I know I saw it. I don't know if it was in the theater or renting in the year after or whenever, because I had the same reaction, feeling, I don't know that I'm the primary demographic for this movie. I was not unimpressed, but it was an odd feeling seeing the rave reviews and just the fervor around this.
The movie or the book?
The book and then the movie.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, I guess it didn't quite resonate for me. So I don't know that I've actually seen it much since. Maybe again after I read all the books to kind of like see them again, but that's been probably 5-6 years or so, maybe. But yeah, I had the same thing. I was kind of like, this is okay.
Well, all right, that's glowing praise.
I know this was. It was a surreal looking back today, being like, yeah, I know I saw it. That's about it.
Well, our first segment is Drinking Buddies, where Tim will take us through our 4 beers.
Come on, not my fucking beer.
or our drinking buddies that accompany us through the film. This week I am told that Tim has all theme beers, 3/4 of which are IPAs, a severe overcorrection from having none for Monsters, Inc. And as usual, anytime Tim has a theme beer, it is an adventure of justification. So Tim...
What a great intro.
Who are our drinking buddies for Harry Potter?
I must say, I was quite proud of myself.
Mm-hmm.
This might be my favorite one outside of the Ocean's 11 bait and switch that you did.
Sure.
So, from our friends here in Minneapolis, the Bauhaus Brew Labs, their Lounge Wizard Hazy Pale Ale.
You're a wizard, Harry.
Then,
That makes sense.
to follow up, that Modest Brewing out of Minneapolis as well. It's their Double Ghost.
You're nearly headless Nick.
Vision, Double Dry Hop Citron Eldorado, Double New England IPA. And then from Insight, again from Minneapolis, their Troll Way Citrus IPA.
Troll bogies.
And then to wrap it up, we have from Minneapolis. Sorry, I was on a roll there. Actually, it's St. Paul. Stack Deck Brewing, their Dungeon Master's Guide Double IPA. Do you sense a theme there, Steve? Huh?
There was no, watching this
Right?
movie makes you feel sadness, so here's a tier IPA. Like, okay.
Yep.
Well, there we go. Actually,
Right?
those are good. Nicely done.
The Wizard, Ghost, Troll, Dungeon.
Nicely done.
All right.
Well, actually, that'll bring us to our social network segment.
If you guys were the inventors of Facebook, you'd have invented Facebook.
Our look back at the reviews or reactions from the time, both good or bad. Tim, you want to go first? I have one. You can do a couple if you want.
Yeah. Overall, the critics, like I mentioned before when seeing kind of our reaction to it, looking back through it now, they widely loved the film. It was a resounding praise for the movie. IMDb rating is 7.6 out of 10. Alan Morrison of Empire Magazine said that fans of the book probably couldn't hope for a better adaptation. Rex Reed from The Observer said 2.5 hours of pure, uninterrupted enchantment. And then, as I always like to have, Big Boy Roger, Ebert, 4 out of 4 stars.
Really?
Perfect score for him. Yeah. I was like, wow. Saying that during the film, I was pretty sure I was watching a classic, one that will be around for a long time and make many generations of fans.
He was sucking up to his grandkids.
He hit that one on the head. So what's the one you have?
He has one. I don't even know if he has grandkids.
That's true.
Well, I had David Anson of Newsweek, and I picked it because there are some good reviews out there.
Yeah.
But there are some, I think, that are sort of middle of the road. And I liked his point, which was, he asks, has there ever been a big budget adaptation as faithful to its source as Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone? Yet that is not necessarily a good thing in his mind, because later he goes on to praise the cast, especially the kids, but says that Harry Potter has many magical delights, but the magical alchemy that the book seemed to achieve so effortlessly eludes it.
Ooh. That year for the Academy Awards, it had 3 nominations for art and set direction, as well as costume design, and then the man himself, John Williams, up for Best Original Score for the movie.
Man could hum through a film, and they'd probably nominate him for.
Yeah, exactly.
He's
He
the
plays a
he's the
kazoo.
Meryl Streep of composers, right? Like,
Yes. Or is she the John Williams of
yeah,
actresses?
exactly. Just either way. Surprisingly, 2.5 hours. So
Yeah.
we'll have 3 or 4 or 5.
Buckle in.
Released in 2001 by Warner Brothers. Please take time to watch along with us. Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone.
Well, just Harry. Did you ever make anything happen? Anything you couldn't explain when you were angry or scared?
Now, if you two don't mind, I'm going to bed before either of you come up with another clever idea to get us killed. Or worse, expelled.
She needs to sort out her priorities.
Welcome back to 20 Years 4 Beers, where we have just finished Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, as well as 4 new beers from Minnesota. As usual, we jump pretty much immediately right into our reaction segment, which we call High Fidelity.
Top 5 side ones, track ones.
Where Tim and I discuss our top 5 takeaways or reactions from re-watching the film this week, Harry Potter. Do you want to go first? Do you have one?
It's a funny thing watching it that I haven't seen it in, a long time. Despite how impressive the, execution of it is, it just is such a film that's saddled with the world building.
Yeah.
It's so slow. Despite it being, a fantastical and, exciting, adventure type thing. And I get, my daughter just finished the first book, so in a few weeks we might watch and be like, oh, experiencing it. But man, it's move it along. It takes and I've read all the books, and it just felt like it was so saddled with building the world, which I guess is a tough thing, but it just takes 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Yeah.
It's a long movie for this type of thing.
Yeah, and I felt like you had 3 reviews that were very glowing, including a surprising 4 out of 4 for Ebert.
Yes.
But the Newsweek one I appreciated because it was it is very true to the book.
Yeah.
Very true. And yet that doesn't mean that's a good thing.
Yeah.
They really could have cut a good portion of this. They easily could have cut a half hour without ruining the story.
Yes.
And I really think I thought what's interesting, Steve Kloves is a really important person in the Wizarding world from a movie standpoint because he wrote all of them. As far as the
same guy,
I'm pretty. 20 of you can look, but I'm pretty sure Steve Kloves wrote all 8 films. Wow. But after the first 2, it was abundantly clear that they had to start cutting stuff.
Yes.
It just had to.
It's just bloated. And I like the books. I love the books.
Yeah, and it's not his fault, because I'm pretty sure when they bought the rights, Rowling had final cut, final say on that kind of stuff. So I do think that is part of it. I'm bringing up his filmography, I guess. And he wrote all of them.
Which is
quite
impressive to think about, 8 movies out of 7
or
books.
Or maybe, Sorcerer's Stone, Chamber,
to adapt.
Prisoner, Goblet of Fire, maybe he didn't write 5, but either way. Also wrote, by the way, he wrote Wonder Boys.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
There you go.
What a weird, Wonder Boy, which is a good movie.
Great movie, absolutely.
Man.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just bloated. It just feels world building. And I get for a while, but man,
not
it's
even in a good way. I mean,
no.
Sometimes a world building can be really interesting. I don't think it was very interesting.
It's 40 minutes before he gets to Hogwarts.
Yeah.
A 40-minute intro to this whole world. Move it along. God, you're killing me.
What was the, we've quoted it, well, not on the podcast, but you and I have talked about it, was it, who said, don't Boris get to the chorus?
Oh, it was Tom Petty.
Tom Petty.
Yeah, that was their whole thing.
Go. Don't Boris get to the chorus.
That's so good. Yeah, that was my first thing. It just felt like world building.
I don't want to be negative on it because in the end, I think I'm actually positive on this movie. But my number one takeaway is the visuals are freaking garbage. Oh God. From a CGI standpoint, it's just terrible. Some of the shots are good, but overall they're very basic. Well, I'm sure we'll talk about production design later and stuff, but the visuals are terrible. Not only for 2001, they're terrible for the mid-90s. I mean, they're really bad. And I read that Chris Columbus, the director, he did not like the visuals, and they wanted to improve it for Chamber of Secrets.
Sure.
To which I say, fail, because also terrible.
Terrible.
They did a bad job with that. But I just, not only was it 8 years after Jurassic Park, as we talked about, and then how long after Terminator 2, but it's only 2 years after Episode 1, and it's substantially better. So really the visuals are very poor.
Well, that's why it was up for art and set direction and costume design, the tactical.
It wasn't up for visual
experiences, but the visual
It was up for a BAFTA for visual.
Cool for
Believe
them.
it or not.
Cool for them, but
they love their own films.
It was surprise. The whole troll attack.
A troll is terrible.
It's so
Yep.
terrible.
Yep. All the flying is bad. Nothing's believable.
The
it's
glitch,
really the visuals are very, very bad.
It's like
yep.
Even like the simple CGI, like where they're like clearly like standing in front of like a green screen.
Right.
It's like, jeez, this is not aged well.
No. I don't think it was good at the time either.
No, it was glaring. Yeah, so that was the thing. Like, at times it's like it's god awful and really, really like jarringly bad.
Yep.
So yeah, I agree. That was
one for each of us.
Okay. I don't know that I can think of Robbie Coltrane.
Yeah.
Hagrid much outside of this movie. Like, maybe I remember like Goldeneye.
Yeah.
Of him. But he is clearly like perfectly cast.
Mm-hmm.
Like the other well-named British actors like that you could know from other stuff like are really good. And of course there's Rickman, who is just Rickman and pauses all the time. But I think he's so fantastic.
I agree.
Having watched him, like, oh my god, he's so endearing as like a conduit for these kids.
Yeah.
To be in this adult crazy world that I loved him. He was so good. Yeah. He was very endearing and funny and wonderful, and kudos to them. Like, I think he was cast first or whatever.
He was the first cast.
Yeah, perfect casting. I loved Robbie Coltrane. He was so good as Hagrid. Yes, loved him.
Yeah, he's a simpleton kind of feeling of it. He definitely brings you into the world. He plays that role really well.
Yeah.
In the books as well. I'm going to play off that a little bit in that I will say, and I almost had this as a somewhat of a hot shot, but I would say no casting has had a bigger impact on a character, both literary and cinematic, as Alan Rickman as Snape. No casting.
Really?
When you think of, and I admit I'm reading through them with my son.
Sure.
And so when I first read through them, obviously, it was before him.
Sure.
But it was like, Snape's a jerk, man. Like, but Snape is a jerk in the books. He's a terrible person.
Yes.
But Rickman, what they do so well is they play off of he's always a bad guy. Like, they bring in a guy who is always a bad guy.
Yes.
But we know in the end, he turns into be actually kind of a good guy.
Yeah.
But we also know that Rickman is a lovable person. I mean, right around the same time in 2000, 2001, or 99, 2000, excuse me, Galaxy Quest comes out, and he's awesome in that. And
Dogma.
Right. He has he has movies where he's not the bad guy.
Yeah.
But he's always this sort of like just surly kind of guy. He plays that really well.
Yep.
But for my money, as I've been reading back through the books and watching through the movies, and my son and I love to watch movies, there's no adaptation of a book character into film that has more of an effect on both how you view the literary character and you view the cinematic character as Alan Rickman. Hagrid's great in his role, but he's exactly what he needs to be.
Yeah.
Snape he recrafts the narrative on the book and in the movie. And it's all because of Rickman. It's just that performance. That casting is perfection. All the more reason, Stefan, as we've talked about in the past, that casting directors need to have an Oscar. Because when they hit it right, it is right. This was a right casting.
Yeah.
Like, it was great. And I think we talked about with Rickman, he was supposed to be
Farquaad.
For
Shrek,
but he actually took this.
Yes.
And I was like, thank God for all involved that he took this.
Yes.
Like, whoever got involved in that. So, no, anyway.
But yeah, and I wonder about that, like, with, like, how did he know being a antagonist in this? Like, did she pull him aside? But, like, because at this point, I think, like, the first 4 books have been released when the movie came out.
3 or no more than 4. It might have been 3, but yeah.
So it's like, did she, like, give him hints of, like, hey, like, Rowling, like, here's what I want you to do, type of thing. Like,
I actually
did you
don't
plant
I don't
seeds
know.
for
Yeah.
him of like what I have envisioned for him? Because
Well, for the first two movies, she was very involved, and I think less involved as it went on, because she was writing the books and that kind of stuff. And I think it just got too much, and rightfully they made some decisions along the way. But it's possible. I mean, I didn't. Neither one of us did any research on that, so
that's true.
But yeah.
All right, so that's 2 for each, whatever. Okay, let's talk about Quidditch.
Sure.
So
love it.
Can we acknowledge the Nimbus 2000 is a piece of garbage?
Yeah.
Like, what a crazy thing it's advertised of, like, here's this amazing broom. It's going to rock your world. You'd think the manufacturers would have, like, ensured their product is averse to spells. Like, it's a core functionality of the wizarding world that spells might impact this thing. Like, you think about the whole, like, Brady, like, Inflategate. Or whatever,
Deflategate?
Deflategate, like,
yeah.
The BS around that. But, like, you would think the Nimbus 2000 producers would be like, okay, Bob, you're up for ensuring no spells can do this. As well as, okay, Harry, I know you're young and a first year, I get it. A century of people haven't done before. Pay attention to the freaking Sneetch. It's your only...
Snitch.
Is it Sneetch or Snitch?
Snitch. He said Sneetch.
Sneetches, sorry.
Yeah. Sneetches get Steeches, apparently.
Yeah, it's the Seuss, reference. Cancel culture. The Snitch is like, pay attention to your only freaking job, man. Like, it can be 150 points and you're done.
Oh, it's the single dumbest thing.
Stop lollygagging over how to, like, focus on what's going on, man.
Yeah, Quidditch becomes this big thing throughout the whole thing, and I'm like, all you gotta do is catch the dang
so
snitch.
stupid.
Yeah.
Anyway, like, I feel like from, like, a production standpoint, like, in the real world of the
Yes.
wizarding world, you would think these companies would have a spell-proof effort, but yeah.
Well, so there is literally no way I can play off that, so I'm just gonna sort of change the subject.
Cool.
I would say, as I watch this, and we've seen all the movies and read all the books and everything else, and so have most of the people listening, the fact that 20 years on, there is no prequel movie or series or book or anything to do with James and Lily Potter and that time that led up to... Well, Voldemort was before, but he really sort of like came to power in their time. And later on, you have Sirius Black and that kind of stuff. But the fact that after 20 years, there is no prequel or anything like that. I got like 2 prequels for Game of Freaking Thrones coming down the pipe, and yet no Harry Potter prequel when it comes to the book or anything like that of what led up to this is really surprising to me.
But I guess I haven't seen the whole Fantastic Beasts series.
You do, because it's not good. But it's fine.
But I think,
there's no prequel to this story.
Interesting, yeah. Huh.
Like,
yeah.
There was obviously, it wasn't like Voldemort just sort of showed up. It was like, oh, I'm going to try and kill you, and here you go. No, there were years of fighting and that kind of stuff. Yeah. And there's all kinds of things that allude to it through the whole series.
Yeah, because the second book movie, they talk about, like, Thomas Riddle. Okay, Voldemort. Like, yeah, there's nothing really much in between, like, him leaving.
Right.
And becoming Voldemort in this epic battle.
Yeah.
That then becomes, like...
we have no idea, and we only have allusion to it through the other movies and stuff, and it's really well done in that sense.
Sure.
Because it makes me want that.
That's true.
So it's well done.
Yeah.
But I am astonished that there is not an HBO Max series of from whatever James and Lily graduate from Hogwarts and the next 10 years, because he was a seeker in the 70s. It said it was 69 to 71 or whatever. Or, and it was 18 years later that this movie was released, or 20 years later. So, there was about an 8 years period there before Harry would have been born. Because this is 2001. And so theoretically he's 11. So that means he was born in 89, 90, right in that way.
Yep.
So there could really be this fun little Stranger Things style, like late 70s, early 80s, like throwback in the Harry Potter world that would be amazing. And that's all the rage in the last 5 years of that sort of like 80s throwback. It's astonishing to me. I don't understand how they don't do it. Book or movie or TV show. Like it would be a great TV show.
Like the 80s in Muggle world.
Yeah.
And then...
And Voldemort's rise to power.
Oh, man.
Yeah. I'd write it if I could, but I don't have the rights.
You're like...
I don't have the rights to it.
We're coming to that.
Right.
Yeah. Ooh, that's good. I like that. Watch just to think. So in the Wizarding world, they celebrate Christmas. So like, was Jesus the Wizarding OG?
That's right. Yeah, man.
Like...
That's right.
Really? Like, changing
JC all day, man.
Water to wine.
JC all day.
Walking on water. Like, I mean, they even reference, like, something in the, like, Diagon Alley or whatever, like, or 382 AD. Like, I'm like, or I was like, really? Like, it's a reference to a common time that's outside the Muggle world. I was like, all right, okay. So, anyway, it was a weird thing to be like, they're celebrating Christmas. Happy Christmas, as they say. Which might be a British thing, but anyway.
Yeah, you can't be merry in Britain.
Yeah. So, yeah. I was like, all right, he's original.
I'm struck by how traditionally in our 14 episodes before this, you and I have very similar takes that when we watch a movie.
Yep.
We're very different here.
Yeah.
Never did Jesus Christ come into my brain when I was thinking about Harry Potter, and yet...
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it makes sense.
Right?
I mean, I do get it.
Yeah. He rose from the dead.
That's right.
Yeah.
With the Sorcerer's Stone.
Boom!
Oh my god!
Yeah. Yeah.
Crack the code!
Think about
crack
that.
the code.
Yeah. Think about that. Yeah. HP, JC, what?
Yeah, weed is not legal yet in Minnesota, and this conversation would have been very different on weed versus beer.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
You're welcome. That's my force. Yep.
Again, literally no way to play off of that.
It's so good.
My fourth point literally says John Williams. That's it. That's the point.
Dude.
Like, the guy is just, I don't want to say perfection, because he has some hits and misses over the years. But yeah, I think when John Williams knows the material is going to, somehow or another, he knows when the material he's writing for is going to outlast him.
Yes.
And he just knows how to, because if you listen to movies like Hook, Home Alone, all these like early 90s movies, they tie right into this movie.
Oh, totally.
They're there. But he takes what he learned before and he puts it into this.
Yep.
Yeah, John Williams, that's it. That's the tweet.
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you.
That's the tweet. Yeah, I agree. Like, I think that they got him to be involved, and one of the most iconic themes that you could come up with. I mean, he's incredible, but yeah, he just has a phenomenal ability to have like the movement, like the story going along. But yeah, the main theme is fantastic. So yeah, he's just.
But I'll even come off of that.
How does he know like this is gonna kill? It's
right.
Great. Yeah.
Which is what separates. What has always separated John Williams is it's not even the main theme.
Yeah.
His best themes actually are, sometimes he has 2 or 3 themes that are better than anyone else's main theme.
Yeah.
So have like Jurassic Park has 2 or 3 sort of like themes. If I were to play them for you right now, you'd be like, that's Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Or this movie, it has like when you have the main theme of which is like. But then in Quidditch comes out and it's like. Those are 2 different themes.
Yes.
But if I played them for you, you would know these are Harry Potter. Yes. Indiana Jones has multiple themes. He has a great job. He does a great job of having one main theme that you're like, oh my god, this is amazing. But then if I play you the sub theme, that sort of is like the piano, the Jurassic Park piano theme.
Yes.
is astonishing.
Yes.
And you're just like, oh. So he brings multiple layers to it.
Yes.
And this is another one. I mean, he copies himself blatantly in this movie.
You know it's John Williams.
Yeah, but it is so good.
Yes, it's so good. Last thought I had was tied to some of the movie, but by extension the book, because it's an adaptation.
Yeah.
What the hell are the HR practices at HR or at Hogwarts? Who is their HR director?
You can tell Tim works in some sort of
operations.
Yeah.
This whole thing of
what are your hiring practices?
Yeah, these
at
kids
Hogwarts?
are in peril all the time. Here's your detention. Go out to the Forbidden Woods and find a unicorn slayer. Yeah. What is happening with the HR department? No one is coming in okay, we got a bit of an OSHA situation.
Yeah.
With the candles lit here. I just think
there's
watching
no
it.
such thing as OSHA in the Harry.
I agree, but it's
in
just
the Wizarding world, OSHA does not exist.
Yeah, they can take care of it, but I just think it's amazing to watch it. Be wow, you're a hiring practice. Dumbledore, are you in the hiring committee?
Yeah,
you're terrible.
Oh yeah, he is terrible.
Yes.
Yeah, there's only 6 Defense Against the Dark Arts
every year
in a row.
It doesn't work, man. Yeah, that's what that seriously.
Yeah,
you got to revise your practices and policies. That's what I got.
There you go.
Yep.
Again, no way to play off that. So I will say I think what we talked about early and with the reviews, although, man, respect to Roger Ebert for throwing 4 out of 4 on this. Yeah. And the reviewers, and that's always been my respect on movie reviewers is always or critics, sometimes they're able to see a movie differently than the rest of us.
Totally. Yep.
So I do respect that. But 4 out of 4 is absurd on this movie.
Yes.
It's just absurd. A perfect score is terrible. But one thing I took from rewatching it as I was watching it is I used to not like this movie. Yeah. And I'm not saying it's good in a sense of the Wizarding world.
Yeah.
It probably is the second worst behind, obviously, Chamber of Secrets. It's terrible.
Absolutely.
But it's not its fault because, like you said initially, it's a world-building thing.
Yep.
It's hard to build a world on the first one. It is tough.
Yeah.
But my last point was, this movie, when you watch the rest of them from 3 on, is refreshingly light.
Yep.
It's just fun.
Yep.
It's kids in peril, sure, and all this other stuff. And it's laughable on having chess be as important as it is. It's the most British thing ever.
Yes.
The Queen's game.
H3.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
You'll get checkmate.
And you just go, no, that's ridiculous. But it's lighter. It's fun. It's fun, stupid kids humor.
Yep.
And in that sense, it's really great that Chris Columbus was the director for this.
True.
I think he's not a great director, and he has a really track record. But for this kind of movie, he's perfect for it.
Yep.
It really is. It's just light. It's fun. It's a kid's movie through and through.
Absolutely.
And I think that's why, for me, this stands out of saying, this is a kid's movie. It's fun.
Yep.
It's how it's supposed to be.
Yep. I agree. Yes. Quibbles aside.
Oh, sure. From a
I'm sure my daughter's going to love
all
it.
Kinds of problems. My kid loves this movie.
Yes.
It's a kid's movie.
Yeah.
I mean, if I watch back Blank Check from the early 90s, it's absurdly does not hold up. And neither does this movie in that way, but kids love it.
Yes.
So I can't hold it against it at all. So, all right. So that actually is going to bring us to our next segment, which is Drinking Buddies, the sequel.
Let's get weird.
Where we recap our beers and provide you with our super expert ratings based on scientific algorithms. Or really just what we like.
That's good.
It's really just what we like.
Oh,
so, Tim, what do we got for our beers?
First one we had was Bauhaus Brew Labs out of Minneapolis. Their Lounge Wizard. And I gotta say, I think you liked my theme.
I did like your theme.
Yeah.
I did like your theme. It's the third best theme of our entire podcast.
Yes. Third best?
Yeah, Ocean's 11 was great, but there's nothing in the top You Are My Sunshine with Sip of Sunshine from...
Okay, that's true. Yes, from Oh Brother.
So all the way from Vermont, ladies and gentlemen, we have... Shut up! We have Sip of Sunshine from Lawson's Finest.
Yeah,
I mean, there's
agree.
nothing to top that.
That was okay.
So
I'll
it's
give
always
you that. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Yep. So the Bauhaus Brew Labs Lounge Wizard Hazy Pale Ale, for me was a 4.25.
Wow.
Largely because it was very, very tasty, and I'm not a big fan of the pale ales where they kind of like this bait and switch of like hazy pale ale. I actually bought it thinking it's an IPA, and I read the label, I'm like, dang it.
Yeah.
It's just a pale
I was
ale.
disappointed.
Not IPA.
Yeah, I had to change my notes.
But
only IPA.
I really like this. I could have this smelling it over and over. I like, yeah, it's quite good. I liked it.
3.75 for me.
All right.
Substantially a little, well, I mean, like lower than normal for sure. I'm not a huge pale ale fan.
Yeah.
It was fine. Initially, I was like, maybe this is a 4.25, and again, as it kind of went on, it was like, oh, it's fine. But it is probably the better Bauhaus beer I've had.
Yes.
I'm not a big fan of that. So I do have 3.75 on it. It was good. If you were to give it to me, I have one at home still. I'll drink it. I'll be like, oh, cool.
It's quite tasty. Then it had the Modest Brewing Company of Minneapolis for the Double Ghost Vision, Double Dry Hop Citra and Eldorado, Double IPA. For me, it was a 4. I liked it. It was good. I like Modest in many ways. Their other stuff is a bit better, like the Dream Yard stuff. But yeah, It was quite good. It's one of these ones that like a lot of these were like these cryo hops. Where it feels like a bit of like a scientific nerdy. Ooh, we're like in a lab somewhere.
Yeah, which is actually cost effective.
Yeah,
but I get your point.
I get it, but yeah, it was good. I liked it. It was solid. I'll take it.
You had 4, you said?
Yeah, 4.
Yeah, 4.25 for me.
Nice.
I mean, yeah, it's good. I'm not a huge Modest. I mean, I enjoy Modest, and it's great to go to. But I was like, it's 4.25. It's enjoyable.
It's good.
Yep.
And then we had, and again, the cadence of the enjoyment was quite serendipitous.
It is a little weird how it tends to happen for us. Yeah. Because Wizard, obviously, right away at the beginning is there.
Yep.
Ghost Vision was right around when Nearly Headless Nick comes out.
Yep.
Trollway was in the
Trollway
was when
Troll?
it comes out. Absolutely. Yep.
For Insight Brewing, their Trollway Citrus IPA, it was a 3.25 for me.
That's low.
It is a low one for me. I will take it, but yeah, I just was like, not quite feeling it. So, not tonight.
I had a 3.5, and the reason I gave it a 3.5 is I finished the entire thing.
For Insight, it's good, yeah.
Right. I'm not a big Insight fan.
Yep.
I finished the whole thing, so out of respect, you kind of go, 3.5 is about as low as I go, if I can finish it.
I drank the
If
tall
I
boy.
don't finish the whole thing, you might go under that. So I went 3.5. Yeah. Insight's fine. It's good. It's fine.
And then we had Stack Deck out of St. Paul, not Minneapolis, but St. Paul. Their Dungeon Master's Guide, double IPA of Citra, Mosaic, and Strata. Holy God, this was good.
Yeah.
4.5 for me.
Same for me.
It's just what a way to end the movie. But man, they're fantastic. Yep. Really, really good.
Yeah, if anyone's listening in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area, Stack Deck needs to be your next visit.
Yes,
it is. We've talked about Falling Knife in the past. We've talked about some of the great breweries in the area, but for my money, Stack Deck is really stepped up their game.
Coming on.
Yeah, I had a 4.5 as well. I mean, the hard part of downtown St. Paul is dying a slow death.
Yes.
So I hope they keep doing this. It's really good. They're awesome. I had a 4.5. So
yeah, really, really good.
Good beers though. I mean, it was good.
Yeah.
Well played on the theme.
Thank you.
Well done.
I must say I felt quite good. Yeah. I had the ghost one and the dungeon. I'm like, I gotta get to the 2, and it worked out. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, Magic Hat would have worked, but we couldn't find it. Magic Hat Brewing.
For those that are listening, I was at the liquor store. I had 3 out of 4, and I'm like, God, where can I find the 4th one? And I literally was standing at the wall of beer, looked up, and
so he was like,
Wizard.
I feel like I should throw your picture on Harry holding the wand.
Yes.
At the beginning.
Yes, and Ollivanders.
And Ollivanders, and you have like the sun behind you.
I was like, what should
Wizard! Bauhaus Lounge Wizard. Yep.
It was like, oh.
Well done.
Yep, here we go.
All right, so this is Hot Shots and Hot Shots Part 2.
You're American. Yes, from America.
Where Tim and I offer up a hot take or something random that maybe might not have been there 2 decades ago. Or maybe just something we just want to talk about off of our high fidelity. Who knows? Do you have a hot take you want to go for first, or you want me to go first?
I'll defer to you.
Okay. So I actually had two originally, and I ended up moving Snape into my sort of like
Sure.
because you had your casting one, so I was like, okay, Snape is good as far as that. My hot shot is, I guess, Richard Harris would not have been a great Dumbledore for the later films.
Ooh.
If you think about how
tell me more.
Michael Gambon,
Yeah,
and you think about how the character's written.
sure.
I mean, it is so abundantly clear in these first two movies that Richard Harris is an old ass man.
Totally.
No
Yes.
offense to him. He's an awesome actor and he's great as Dumbledore. But when you think about how Dumbledore is not only in the books but also in the movie, like, it's not that they write him differently in the movie. He is abundantly more active in the last, especially books 4, 5, and 6.
Yep.
So, if never would I wish somebody to die or anything like that.
Yeah.
But Richard Harris would not have been a good Dumbledore from 3 on. It's not like fate stepped in, but even 3, you think about how Dumbledore is in that movie, a lot more active, because Richard Harris in the Dumbledore of 1 and 2 is basically up at the table and is really not, but he's not. Michael Gambon brings an empathy to that role, and definitely more of a human, like a human element to it.
Sure.
So no, I just thought that, like, Michael Gambon, like, hashtag, Michael Gambon is my Dumbledore. Like, it is, it is just like Richard Harris is good.
Yes.
They didn't replace him. He died, so they had to find somebody.
Yes.
And there is people who are like, oh, if only Richard Harris had been that way. No, he is old in these first 2 movies.
Well, yeah, that's a good. Yeah, because we watched Gladiator last year.
Yeah.
Which is the old frail emperor dying, and the expectation is this is a first of a 7-book series.
Yeah.
8 movie type of thing.
I mean, up front, this is going to be another 8 years or so, right?
That they're like investing in this type of thing. Yeah, okay, all right, yeah, and when he died, unfortunately, it was like what are they gonna do now,
right,
kind of thing. And when Michael Gambon came on, I was like, okay, he's quite good.
Yeah, and he's
a
lot younger, and he's more active, but he's more active in the books too.
Yes,
like, so it makes some sense,
especially
that they would
6th book.
Yes. Yeah.
How would he have
5
done?
and 6, you have to have a more active Dumbledore.
Yeah.
And not only... So Richard Harris is old enough in 2000, 2001 when they're filming these movies.
Yeah.
Add another 6 years onto it, it would have been rough.
That would have been dicey. Yeah.
Right. So there's my hot take.
I like that. All right. That's good. That's good.
I only spit hot fire.
Mine is... Speaking of casting... Watching again, of course, we've seen all the movies now in hindsight, but one of probably, if not the most consequential casting decisions of any film franchise, of any movie ever, like a huge risk on casting 10 and 11-year-old kids,
right,
that were largely unknown. I think
unknown completely.
Like,
yeah,
outside, like, I mean, I think pretty much they were like. Maybe had 1 screen credit, like...
well, Radcliffe didn't have any. Rupert Grint, I think, had a little bit.
Yeah, like, nobody's coming in, and you're going to carry a 7, ultimately 8-film franchise? Like, I can't believe the risk they took on this.
Mm-hmm.
Of these are the ones we're going to, like, to produce them somewhat back-to-back.
Yeah.
For them, I mean, the first 2 came out a year apart, and then a little bit after, like, what a Herculean task, and... I mean, we think about, like, Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Where at this point, like, the books and the movies coming out, like, you might get too far ahead. Where now, oh, crap.
Right.
Maybe Rowling doesn't actually meet her end of the bargain and, like, produce the books. But, yeah, I think probably the most consequential casting decision of any film franchise, of the risk involved of casting young kids to carry it for a decade. Yeah.
Especially Daniel Radcliffe.
Yes.
You could have missed on Ron or Hermione, actually, and been fine.
Yeah.
But you had to hit on... And actually, I used to think that Radcliffe is really bad in the first 2 films. I don't think he's good in the second film, because virtually nobody is.
No.
But in this film, for a 10, 11-year-old kid.
Yeah.
Actually, he does stand out for me. And even my Newsweek review had, like, praised the kids.
Yeah.
Because they're not, like, great actors. You're not going to get, like, some... It's rare to find any actor at 10, 11, 12 years old who's going to be able to really do a great job.
Yeah.
But they actually... He's much better than I remember him being.
Yes.
But no, I agree. I mean, that's a risk to really pull these kids in.
These kids.
And then to think... Especially those three.
Yes.
The other sub-characters, I mean, Neville and Ginny turned out to be good, but the rest of them are usually pretty bad.
Yeah.
They lucked out.
Yeah.
They lucked out completely.
And they were like, let's surround them with great established British actors.
Yep.
That can carry the movie if they're maybe not good. But yeah, the three main characters ultimately worked out.
Love it.
Yep.
So our final segment then, as always, is Quiz Show.
The exciting quiz program, 21.
Where we search for fun, quirky, or even difficult trivia nuggets throughout our research for our next film and attempt to stump each other. I think research for me is a little bit more of a light. I usually be like,
quick
I don't know.
Googling.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know. I'll figure it out. Yeah. I have some, though. I'm going to assume you have 6 or 7.
I have 15. No, I have 3.
Okay, I mean, I could probably do a couple, but go ahead and start with yours.
So, and there might be some overlap, but we'll see. So J.K. Rowling, the book's author, was adamant on casting only British actors.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest exception she allowed was Richard Harris, as we saw at Dumbledore, who's Irish.
Irish, yeah.
Yep. It's scandalous. Again, I can't speak to the whole Great Britain.
Yeah, how many
craziness
countries
are
around this country?
It's not Scottish,
Ted
whatever.
Lasso says.
Yet another casting choice was most glaring to this rule. The Goblin Griphook of Gringotts Bank is voiced by Warwick Davis, well-known actor from Star Wars and Willow. But he was not actually played by him for the first 6 films. Do you know the American actor that plays Griphook?
I do. It's Vern Troyer.
Son of a mother! Of Austin Powers Mini-Me fame.
That's right. Yeah.
Well done. Yeah.
He was dubbed because famously Rowling said, like, I only want British actors for this. Which, I mean, Chris Columbus's daughter is in this, and, like, there's a couple other, like, Julian Ho and Derek Ho, or whatever, or Huh, or Huh.
Oh, yeah. Huh.
They're in this as, like background or whatever.
Really?
Like, they are...
Oh, sure, like, background
just,
characters.
They have they're not credited, they're uncredited, they're just, like, extras and stuff. But they're in it. But the only speaking role to an American was Vern Troyer, and they dubbed him with Warwick Davis because J.K. Rowling was like, no, we can't.
What the hell?
Right, and also Vern Troyer is a terrible actor, rest in peace. But that's no.
That's good. Yeah. Good job. Nice.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
On that same sort of note, because Rowling said, I only want British actors, there were 2 actors, American actors, who asked to be in this film free of charge. So, based on your reaction, I already know that you don't have this. So, I will just give you those names.
Okay.
But Robin Williams and Rosie O'Donnell asked to be in the movie.
Wait. Okay,
yeah.
sorry. Okay. Let me guess who they would have been.
But that's what I'm asking you. For free, they said they would work for free, but Rowling said, no, we only need actors. So, which 2 roles did they request on their end?
Robin would have been Hagrid.
That's correct.
It's got to be like the... Like,
right.
Yeah, okay.
And he has 2 previous credits with Chris Columbus.
Oh, Miss Doubtfire.
And one other one.
Another one before that?
Yep.
Oh. Okay. We're getting deep cut.
I know.
I had no idea.
Secondary trivia, which could have been another one. Bicentennial Man was also directed by Chris Columbus previously.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, anyway.
Rosie O'Donnell?
Yeah, she requested...
What? Okay. Who would have been like Weasley's mom?
Molly Weasley.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm like, there's no way to be like McGonagall or like that.
Yeah.
But like,
because it's a bit part.
Really?
At the moment, it's a bit part. But yeah. Those are the 2.
Wow.
Robin Williams and Rosie O'Donnell asked to be in, and Rowling was like, heck no, we only have British actors. To the point where Warwick Davis had to voice over Vern Troyer, who was born in Michigan, because he had to be from Griphook.
God.
So there you go.
That's good.
What do you got?
So director Christopher Columbus.
Columbus? I'm not cutting that out. I'm not cutting it out.
Christopher Columbus was well known for Home Alone.
Yep.
And Miss Doubtfire films. And Bicentennial Man. But he was not the film's original director. The original director also did have a film release in 2001. Can you name the original director that came on before Christopher Columbus? Who has a long-standing relationship with John Williams?
I was going to say, I mean, like, are we talking... It wasn't Spielberg, was it?
It was.
Was it?
He was the original director, but they had to cancel. Yeah.
Spielberg's been, like, linked to
of course
thousands
he is.
of films. Like,
He probably
Spielberg
said-
and
yeah.
Ridley Scott have basically been attached to every
Yes.
film that's ever existed.
He's like, oh, no, Stanley Kubrick died. I'm taking over that one.
Check over AI.
Yep.
Which we'll discuss later.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah, Spielberg was the original director.
Yeah, I'm glad he didn't direct this.
I agree. Cut a long buzz.
Yeah, that would not have been... No. So... God, my original... Just because I referenced it off recording.
Yeah.
I wanted to have Name That Williams tune, basically. Because I wanted to play, like...
Bum, bum, bum,
right,
bum,
or, like, some Hook. And be like, is this Harry Potter or is this Hook?
Yeah, sure.
And just see if you could get it.
Yep.
And because there are a ton of borrowed themes.
Sure.
But I didn't really get there. My only other... You have 3, you said?
The third one's but...
How... one of the things... In our next film that we talk about from a happy hour standpoint is Pearl Harbor.
I can't wait.
Yeah. Well, I guess I'll preface this and maybe it's... But do you know how many Oscars the Harry Potter series won?
Actually,
total.
one?
All eight films combined.
0.
Correct.
Yeah. It's been nominated a few.
Oh, well, it was 3 for this. It was 3 for most. I mean,
Like
it was
set,
always... And as it
costume.
got on, visuals became more important and
No
it actually
acting.
got better. But no acting across the
Yeah.
board, no.
Huh.
But yeah, it won
0
0 of
films.
like 20 some odd nominations.
Yeah.
And Pearl Harbor has an Oscar win. And it's just like, that's absurd. So it's kind of trivia. I guess I'll throw this last one in. How many pairs of glasses, of Harry's glasses, do you think they went through in this film?
Oh, gosh. Nimbus 2000. I'm going to say 2000. No, 20.
160.
For every day of filming.
Apparently,
They're like,
160
new glasses for you, Harry.
For Harry Potter.
Wow.
Yeah. You got one more?
I do, but it's kind of a deep cut.
Deep cut?
So Stuart Craig,
Jesus,
who's the production designer,
okay,
nominated for this.
Nominated for Oscar, yeah.
And Stephanie McMillan, the set director, they were nominated for this movie for Academy Award. They were frequent collaborators, especially in all of the 8 Harry Potter films.
Mm-hmm.
The last time they were nominated for an Academy Award, prior to this one, was 5 years earlier for a sweeping romantic Best Picture winner. Can you name that film?
Braveheart? Was it 96? Oh, no, that would have been... That
Oh?
would have been English Patient?
English Patient,
Yeah, I
yep.
was going to say 96.
Yep,
yeah,
they won for
Braveheart
English
would have been
Patient.
95, so, yep.
Exactly.
There you go.
But Braveheart, same screenwriter, wrote Pearl Harbor.
Yeah.
Which was our
Randall
next.
Randall Wallace.
Yep.
Oh, Lord.
Teaser.
I cannot wait. Any final thoughts to wrap up Harry Potter?
You know, I gotta say, I enjoy watching this movie better with 4 beers.
Yeah, I tend to agree.
But that being said, I'm excited to watch it with my daughter,
Mhm.
who just finished the book.
Again, because it's a great kids movie.
I agree. We joke, but like it's fun to watch it. But like I'm very excited to see how she reacts to it because she loved the book.
And because as the series goes on, the books go on, it becomes much more serious, much more dark,
much better.
So I do, and it is better as an adult.
Yes,
but just from a kids' fair standpoint,
yeah.
This is just pure kids' enjoyment.
Yep.
They love it. There's stupid humor. There's fun humor. You know, Malfoy's not super evil at this point.
Yeah.
And it's just not...
It's not like a dark humor.
Right.
Yeah.
Everything is
you're
just...
bad. Yes.
I love that about it.
Yep.
Excuse me. No, that was pretty much all I had as well. So on our next episode, full episode, will be a complete about face from Family Fare. And we will be rewatching Training Day.
King Kong ain't got on me.
Starring Denzel Washington in his Best Actor Oscar-winning role. We will have many thoughts on that, of course. Stay tuned also as we will be debuting an updated mini-pod where we're renaming 20/4 Happy Hour.
It's gonna get wild.
It's gonna get wild. We will be discussing Really an all-timer. For better or worse, Pearl Harbor.
I can't wait.
And we'll talk about it before. We're going to record it right now in a little bit after 4 beers plus another.
Yeah, we're
so it gets fun. Speaking of drinking buddies, it's going to get weird.
Let's get weird.
So that actually brings us to the end of our episode. We want to say thanks for taking some time to listen and for clicking that like or subscribe button on your devices. Follow us on Twitter at years_beers and on Facebook, or head to 20years4beers.com. This has been 20 Years 4 Beers. My name is Steve, and this is
Tim.
And thanks for listening.
Thank you.